Hello, this is Someone Guy in Hawaii with a preliminary spreadsheet for the next Borderlands hunt. The hunt is a Borderlands tradition, a community-run scavenger hunt wherein players try to obtain a copy of as many legendary unique items as possible in a set amount of time. It is also, more importantly, a charity event to raise money for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. The hunt website is linked below. Now, I've been making custom hunt spreadsheets for tracking drops and planning out hunt strategies to make running the hunt easier since 2021. I'm putting this spreadsheet out to the community at large now to see what works or maybe what doesn't. Note the errors, make changes before the actual hunt. Now the layout actually follows about the same layout as my previous hunt spreadsheets. The big changes this time, however, are with the game itself. This will be the first hunt played in Borderlands 4. We will get to all that in a bit. Special thanks to Killer6 for creating a base spreadsheet using the last run from BL3 that actually saved me quite a bit of time. So the spreadsheet is currently available in Google Sheets format. It's linked below, because anyone can have a Google account and access to Google Sheets and Google Drive space to keep those files. Not everybody has Excel. I may, time permitting, post an Excel version, but I can't guarantee that until we see what the devs do over the next few weeks. You can download it as an Excel file. However, I cannot guarantee the full functionality of a simple converted Excel version. Okay. To make a copy, simply click File, then make a copy to get your own copy of the spreadsheet. You will need a Google account to be able to do this. You should not be able to make changes to the master file. So let's go over how things are set up and how everything works. To claim an item, simply find the name of the item we are claiming in this third column and place any character in the corresponding far left cell. I would suggest an X, but pretty much anything will work. Then hit enter. Notice that the three leftmost columns turn green, making it easy to see at a glance that this item has been claimed. The score and item totals up top also automatically update as well. Pick another item, update the first column, hit enter, and there we go. Just remember, claiming this only updates this spreadsheet. If you are competing officially, or even if just tracking your progress on the overall scoreboard, you must also claim the item on the official hunt website. Read the rules. Those are also linked below. This is the basic function of the spreadsheet to help us track what we've claimed, but there's a lot more going on here. Okay, this entire header row allows us to sort on any of these columns by specific hunt item information. We can sort on this first column, which shows us what's claimed or not claimed. If we click on this little down arrow on the right side of the column, we get a drop down and can sort descending or ascending. Okay, there are other sorting choices I won't go into. You can play with those if you so desire. We can do this on any one of these columns. Okay. Now, when we click a sorting choice, we get this warning. This is a safety feature to ensure we don't click on something by accident and change something by mistake. This actually will happen if we attempt to change almost anything on the spreadsheet. The only exception at this point is when we enter something in that first column. If that change is what we want, in this case, changing the sort order, we click OK. If it's a mistake, click Cancel. This second column is the point value for each item. The only reason to sort on this is if we want to see all the pearlescents together. The devs have simplified the point values for this hunt. Legendaries are all worth 1 point each. Pearlescents are worth 5, and that's it. Okay. The third column is the name of the item. The fourth column is the item type of gun, rep kit, type of shield, etc. Then comes two sorting columns I will explain in a minute. Okay. Then comes source. This is almost always a specific enemy from whom the item drops. We must obtain the specific item from the listed source, or sources in a few cases. Except for this one legendary enhancement and one other item of our choice, read the rules, world drops do not count. So if we want to see all the items that drop from each source, we can sort by this column, but note that other sorting I'll be making already groups these things together that way, so I don't think you'll be sorting by this column much. Okay. Then comes two related columns. The mission that must be completed to farm that item from that source, or a named location where the source is located, followed by the mission or activity type column. Okay. Capital letters are reserved for main story missions, missions that progresses through the main story. Side missions are in upper and lowercase, and the second column will say side mission. Okay. Aside from main story and side missions, other locations include Ripper drill sites, order bunkers, auger mines, primordial vaults, and raid boss arenas. Lastly is a zone column, a simple letter code for the most distinct zones in the game. CB for Carcadia Burn, TR for Terminus Range, F for Fade Fields, WG for Whispering Glacier, that's the Mad Alley DLC, MC for the Ministry of Culture, that's the Free War on Mercenary Day Bounty Pack, and DD for Demon's Domain, the Stone Demon Bounty Pack. Okay. Now back to these two sorting columns. The first column sorts items in the approximate order as we play through the game. This is the default sorting and the one I recommend you use at least when first starting the hunt. This follows the mission flow as listed in this and other web pages. This one is linked below, but also takes into consideration shared progression and the unlocking of additional content. Okay, for instance, because of shared progression, the sources listed just after Splash Zone are Fade Field Ripper Drill sites, Order Bunkers, and the Vault. Because as long as we get the glide pack from doing Recruitment Drive, we can access and farm all of those sources. Technically, you may not want to until we get more powerful, but we can do it. Okay. After completing a lot to process, all the Mad Alley DLC items are listed in the order they unlock because that DLC unlocks when we get the Zadris hideout as part of a lot to process. Okay, Demon's Domain, the Stone Demon location does the same thing after unlocking Terminus Range, completing Shadow of the Mountain. That's the default sorting column. Okay, the next column sorts everything exactly the same way except for keeping all zone items together and leaving all DLC and endgame content till the end. Okay, all the Fade Field stuff comes first, followed by all the Terminus Range items, and then Carcadia Burn. You can do Carcadia Burn first, or mix and match any of the three big zones. But the last two Carcadia Burn missions require us to finish the Terminus Range main story missions first, so I list Terminus Range content first. Okay, then comes everything in Dominion, then the Raid Boss, and then each of the DLCs, Stone Demon, Mad Alley, and Rush Saves Mercenary Day. If you are at all interested, this is the mission flow chart and source unlocks I mapped out to make this spreadsheet. There's one more feature that's not obvious but can be helpful. When hovering over the name of any item, we get this pop-up. This summarizes the info in the last four columns and may also provide additional information. This allows us to shorten the width of the display and not scroll back and forth for that information. Okay. All node entries should follow a standard format. First is the name of the source in all caps. If it's a Vault Monster or Raid Boss, it will say that in parentheses. Then comes either the mission completion required to farm that source or the non-story related location of that source. Okay, main story mission names will be in all caps, side missions in upper and lowercase. If it's an auger mine or drill site or order bunker, it shows the name and type of that particular site. If there are prerequisites to unlocking and farming the source, those are normally shown as well. This one has more than one source. That's the gist of it. A couple of other pieces of info following up. This is the title of the hunt. Below it is the fact that this is in Borderlands 4 and the hunt dates. Then comes the maximum score and number of items. BL4 is new with more content on the way, but for now there are only 197 items worth a total of 221 points. Below that is the date of the most recent update. This will change anytime I make changes to the master up to, but hopefully not after the actual start of the hunt. Okay. Lastly, towards the right up top in big bold letters, it says shared progression. As of this post, the game is set up to share certain progress between multiple Vault Hunters on the same account. Things like revealing the map in most locations, fast travel unlocks, SDU unlocks for ammo and backpack in our vault, etc. Okay, some of this has an effect on how we encounter some content that in turn can affect how this spreadsheet is sorted. Okay, I mention this because the devs are aware of player requests to make shared progress an optional toggleable feature, and we know they are likely working on this. If this does in fact happen before the start of the hunt organizers may require participants to toggle off shared progression, and if that happens, I will try very hard to do an updated spreadsheet that takes that into consideration, and I will not say shared progression. Okay, and that's it for now. Try it out. Let me know if you have any questions or comments or suggestions. Be sure to check back on the master for date changes indicating updates. I will hopefully put out a final video right before the hunt. As usual, if you like this kind of content, consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. Stay safe, and thanks for watching.